Kindie Rockstars. Prepare for a treat, let's meet and greet some bands and singers that are super sweet, making music that's fun for boys and girls. Help them learn about this great big world. Fun for the family, yes it's true, your kids will love it and you will too. Clap and dance and sing aloud, become a part of the Kindie crowd. These songs will make you move your feet and give your ears a great big treat. So settle in, grab your guitars, and let's get to know our Kindie rock stars. Hello everyone, and welcome to Kindie Rockstars. This is the show that gives you the stories behind the songs from some of the best bands and singers that are making fun, informative, educational, catchy, and occasionally silly songs for children and families. I'm your host, Patrick Adams, and each episode of Kindie Rockstars will feature an artist and a featured song. So let's get to this week's show. Hello everyone, welcome to Kindie Rockstars. Joining me tonight is Marko Polo. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, I love the name Marko Polo. Takes me back to being a kid and playing in a swimming pool and all that good stuff. But tell everyone out there, what's your background? How'd you get into Kindie music? And then how'd you come up with that name?
Yeah, so I've been a working musician for a number of years. Played around with a band called Firedog for a long time, and we're still together putting out some music here and there. But yeah, we were touring around a lot and releasing indie rock music, but there was always a couple songs that kind of caught the ears of our fans and said, they kind of kept asking, when would you do a kids record? Would you consider doing a kids record? And, when it was when I became a father that my wife was like, I think now's a good time for a kids record. So Firedog put out For the Kids was our first foray into the Kindie music scene. And I went out to KindieCom and met a bunch of these characters, a lot of like-minded people who inspired me to kind of dig into that genre. And Firedog put out a couple other releases. Endangered Species Project and It's Firedog was our last one. During the pandemic, I kind of had an opportunity to put together this solo record under my moniker Marko Polo, which I started using a number of years ago. And it kind of became a nickname because I was traveling a lot at that time. I had the opportunity to travel over in South America and different parts of Europe and all over the US. And it was a great fortune to be able to share music that way. So that's kind of where that name came from. And yeah, this is my first solo effort in the Kindie scene under that name, Marko Polo.
Excellent. I'd love to hear more about your tours down in South America and elsewhere. How did they receive your music? And it was the Kindie music, right?
This was, it was not necessarily geared towards Kindie, but I was traveling with a friend who became my wife. But she was working on a documentary film down there, and she was traveling around in a lot of these Andean villages and meeting with families, doing this research project on maternal health. And so music ended up just being a great way to connect with people there, as foreigners, to kind of have something to offer that was, that's the universal language. So it was a really great way to have kind of meaningful connections and break down some of the language barriers and just have some laughter and joy spread through our music. So that musical exchange.
Gotcha. So with your time in Firehouse when you were doing Kindie stuff and even now, is there a general theme to the kind of songs that you write?
Yeah, with Firedog, Firedog, yeah, we kind of started off even before we got into the Kindie thing. It was really heavy focus on just positive messaging and kind of upbeat, danceable, singable songs. So kind of this idea of uplifting messages, which is was at the time was a little bit different from a lot of the emo stuff that was kind of coming out in the early 2000s there. But yeah, so as far as themes, I think when we started getting into Kindie, well, the Endangered Species Project became this kind of animal focused, informational animal song kind of focused with these kind of conservational messaging. Um, and so, in my new release around this idea of mammal music, so a lot of animal themes. Kids really connect with animals in the natural world, um, and so I guess with the new album, kind of exploring humanity and our role in the natural world, and kind of how humans are just mammals too. So kind of these, I like these really broad kind of thematic uh, song topics, and I like animals too. So
Can't go wrong with animals as a kid's music topic or dinosaurs.
yeah,
Kids love dinosaurs.
oh yeah. Well, it's fascinating, really,
So
really
are you going to
is.
continue forward with both projects? So yours is Marco Polo and then with your band?
Yeah, Fire Dog actually has a. We have an album we're gonna put out in the fall. Hopefully, that's the plan. Of a collection of songs that we've been working on remotely through the pandemic. So we, haven't had as many opportunities to get together to rehearse and that kind of thing. But we've been sending tracks back and forth, and so kind of this it's called the Dog Star tape will be coming out this fall. And yeah, so I do plan to keep working with Fire Dog, and also really excited to be launching my solo Marco Polo thing, and just really excited to get back into performing live again. After the last couple of years have been really pretty sparse for opportunities of that sort. So
Yeah. Another question I talk about a lot with other guests. How did 2020 change everything for you?
oh well. Yeah, so we have an organization here called the Regional Arts Commission that supports local artists, and I I submitted for this grant for my solo project the day before the shutdown, and what I was awarded that grant. So that really it was really so helpful just to give me kind of a creative project. I was able to work with Dean Jones, a great producer out of upstate New York. Does a lot of Kindie albums. And I was home with my kids were 2 and 5 when the schools closed. So it was really kind of it was a very challenging time for us all, but in hindsight, it was this really great opportunity to kind of hunker down with my kids and work on some, writing songs. And I had this great producer that we decided to just do it all remotely, and it, worked out really beautifully. But yeah, and then all the scrambling to kind of adapt all your programs to online formats, which was challenging, but also rewarding in some capacities too. Like I do a lot of songwriting with kids, and I found that doing some of that on Zoom really worked in a different way, than in person. So I was, like a lot of us, I think we were fortunate to be able to continue working, but you know, having those live performances kind of disappear was, it was it's pretty disappointing and challenging to kind of deal with. I'm actually next week going to be doing a string of shows with some libraries that were scheduled for 2020. So kind of this feeling of just catching up here.
All right. Well, better late
Yeah.
than never.
Yeah, right. But really fortunate that I was able to get some funding to work on this project and had the time and space carved out for me. So it was, could have been worse, certainly.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you, I know you said your kids were 2 and 5 at the time. Have you gotten them involved at all in your recording sessions, or do you plan to?
Yeah, I got them. I got them singing backup vocals on one song on the album, and it was a good song. Actually, a song that I wrote with some third graders. It's called "Be Brave." So they're singing the chorus, the COURAGE, and that was fun. And they sang on some other stuff too. They had fun in the studio, my little closet studio here. And we did do a lot of music making. I think there were some times though where they were like, "Okay, Dad, I need you to put the guitar away." And, they're telling me to be quiet, and kind of role reversal thing.
Oh, well, what do you do?
Yeah.
All right. You ready to get into a song?
Oh, sure.
This episode's song is called Mammal Music. All right, Marko Polo, let everybody know what's the inspiration behind this song.
Yeah, so this song, I remember I was kind of writing for the album, and I was sleeping with my guitar next to me, like I like to do when I'm kind of mining for songs. But we had been watching a lot of these, the whale documentary on Disney Plus, Secrets of the Whales, and they're talking about the humpback songs, humpback whales. Sing these songs, and it was just kind of reflecting on the ways that mammals find a way to make music. And I just kind of woke up and my guitar was there, and this was just one of those instances where the song just kind of came out. It just kind of came out fully formed, and the next morning it was like completely written. So it was kind of a gift. It was a fun one to hear kind of come to life in our tracking sessions, our remote recording process with Dean. He really brought some life to it, and it's a fun one.
Yeah, and I've heard the name Dean Jones quite a bit, so it sounds like you landed a good collaborator there.
Yeah, certainly. Very intuitive mind.
Yep.
Creative.
All right. Well, let's play it. Here's Mammal Music by Marko Polo.
Mammals make music all over the world. Warm-blooded vertebrates, all covered with hair, are everywhere making music. Beautiful music all over the world.
All right, Marco Polo, let everybody know where they can stream and download your songs, where they can find you on social media, and then what's next for Marco Polo.
Cool. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so you can find my music on all the main streaming platforms, and you can find me on Facebook, Marco Polo Music, and Instagram, Marco Polo Music, and my website, Marco Polo Music. So,
Awesome. I love consistency.
yeah, trying to streamline my messaging. Yeah, I hope you do find me, and I should mention Bandcamp. I'm up on there too, as well as Firedog, and that's a great way to really truly support independent artists like myself.
Excellent.
Yeah, and as far as what's up next, I'm just excited to be having some live shows this spring and summer, and I'm also looking ahead to maybe do a couple singles here, maybe this fall as well.
Awesome. Well, best of luck to you and to Firedog. Thank you so much for coming on the show. This was awesome. Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate what you're doing here.
All right. Thank you so much. Talk to you again soon.
All right. Take care.